Hey bunnies and bunny lovers, welcome back. Today I want to make a really insightful video on 4 ways to improve your rabbit's behavior. A lot of people think that bunnies can't be trained, that they don't understand commands, that they don't understand, discipline, etc. And I'm here to dispel those myths once and for all. Bunnies can 100% be conditioned to learn certain behaviors. I do want to clarify though that conditioning does not equate to a full understanding of all these human emotions and attributes that we assign onto our animals. For example, your dog or your rabbit or your cat, they're not going to understand guilt. Okay, so they're not going to feel guilty if they chewed your MacBook Pro charger, but they're going to learn that if they chew that MacBook Pro charger, it's gonna have a negative consequence, okay? So I think it's important to differentiate between those two things. I did make a video on how to teach your rabbit tricks and commands and all that stuff, how they can learn their name. So I'm gonna link that in the iCard. So you probably wanna watch that in conjunction with today's video. Before we get into this, please smash that like button, hit the bell, and subscribe for unlimited bunny content. The first tip, it's a really simple tip, try to catch your rabbit doing something good and reward them. Okay, so let's say they're using their litter box really diligently and they're not having accidents anymore, they're not marking their territory. Every time they use a litter box, reward them, give them a little something. Or every time you call their name and they respond and they come to you, reward them. And you also want them to associate these behaviors, these actions with being a good thing for them. Have various treat stations around the house to make it easy to just grab a treat and redirect or reinforce. So that way, if they do something pleasing to you that you want to reinforce, but you're all the way in the bedroom and the treats are in the kitchen, have a little jar, or maybe in your night table, your nightstand, that you can pull out and give them a treat right then and there. Make sure they have enough exercise, mental stimulation, and enrichment. When we talk about us as humans, right, we're always like, man, I need these needs met. Why isn't this person meeting my needs? It's the same thing with your pet, your bunny. And if those needs are not being met, it's gonna take a toll on your relationship with them, on the quality of their life. If you have a single rabbit, it's very, very important to make sure that your bunny is occupied all the time when they are not sleeping and eating, essentially. When they're sleeping, that's whatever, you don't need to do anything, but when they're active, they're looking for things to do. I mean, imagine being at home without a TV, without music, without a cell phone, without anything. You're just in a room and it's empty. And, at least give me some Uno cards, something. And it's the same thing for bunnies. Make sure that they've got toys. You can DIY a lot of toys if you don't have a lot of money to spend. There's a lot of great companies that have been popping up recently, smaller independent companies on Etsy and such, where you can find some really interesting, stimulating toys. And remember that it's trial and error. Sometimes, your bunny is just not gonna find a certain toy interesting and they're gonna be ambivalent about it, and that's okay. It just means you don't get them that toy anymore and you can donate it to a bunny who needs it. And there's a lot of unique ways that you can enhance the enrichment. So I did make a video on this as well, but you can sprinkle, foraging mixtures. You can hide little treats here and there inside certain toys. So there's a lot of ways that you can make the toys more interesting if you find that your bunny is they don't really get it. Hay is a great stimulator. It's gonna keep your bunny busy in that litter box. They're gonna be picking out the good pieces. And anytime I feel like Lennon's bored, if I just replenish her hay and stick her in the litter box, she will just be super OCD in that litter box for a good while. And when she's done in that litter box and she's had her fun, she will just flop out because she's just so exhausted. She's a damsel in distress after using the litter box. And she's like, oh my gosh, that was so much work. Okay, I need to rest now. And that's when you have a happy bunny. And the exercise also falls into this category. I'm really a big proponent of free roaming. That is just like the ultimate way to give your bunny exercise. But if you can't do the free roaming, at least have an exercise pen and then allot your bunny free roaming time throughout the day. Obviously during their active hours. A lot of people make the mistake of free roaming during the wrong hours. Sometimes your bunny just wants to nap and you're letting them free roam, but that's not doing anything for them. You want to do it when they're active, you know, in the morning, in the evening, whatever their breakfast and dinners are, dawn and dusk, etc. That's when you want them to have range of a good bunny-proofed space where they can just explore and hop around and binky and zoomy, etc. And also bear in mind that the older your rabbit gets, they're gonna want to like chill out most of the day. So like don't let that scare you if that's what's really going on. Actually, that's the point that you want to get to eventually. Like I would say aspire to be like Lennon. And I don't say that in an arrogant way. We are at a level of trust and routine that's like deeply embedded in our systems. I just know her so well. And I know what she's capable of doing and not doing. And I trust her. And vice versa. Use management to decrease unwanted behavior. This can include gates, playpens. A lot of people think they just have to like give their bunny 100% autonomy in the house, and that's just gonna solve all the problems. And until you've reached a level of trust with your bunny, because sometimes that can take years to build trust and routine and everything, until you get to that point, you do have to, you know, keep them away from things that maybe you don't want destroyed. If you have to block off the living room, if you have to block off your couch, if you have to use a baby gate so that they don't enter a certain space, or, you know, if you have to keep them in a playpen while they are, I don't know, let's say they're still babies, right, or teenagers, and you're waiting for them to maybe get spayed and neutered before you introduce them to free roaming, that is perfectly acceptable, because you know, a baby is just gonna go absolutely bonkers if you free roam them. So I don't recommend free roaming babies, but don't be afraid to decrease the amount of freedom that you do give your bunnies, so long as it corresponds with their safety. Finally, bunny proofing is key in terms of managing your bunny's behavior and preventing any collateral damage. Ultimately, guys, the biggest takeaway from all of this is consistency. Stay consistent. Keep the faith. I promise your bunny will behave and will be a great bunny. When you reach that point, you're gonna remember me and you're gonna be like, oh my God, Lorelai was right. Like, what was I thinking? It's gonna be so rewarding for you the day that all that hard work has really paid off. And I know nobody likes to hear that. Everyone wants instant gratification. But even with dogs, I'm telling you, even with dogs, it takes a long time to get them to a mature, healthy space. When dogs are babies, up until they're like, they reach that first year of adulthood, good luck. Good luck to you. I'd rather have a bunny. I'd rather have a bunny.